Oh, what's going on, family? I had to come into the car because my little man was asleep and I didn't want to go crazy. But let's go. So, first win of the season. And of course, all things Jets, has to be done in dramatic fashion. We get an overtime game, which is cool. I would never, argue about more football. But there was a lot of exciting stuff going on. And I'm still just super thrilled about, Coach Robert Saleh, Zach Wilson getting their first win. And it's not just because it's the first win of the season and, nobody's really projecting us to go beyond 5 or 6 wins. It's kind of the way we've gone about how we won today, especially given the midst of all the things that's going on. Now, there is one crucial thing that I'm still pretty upset about, but we'll get to that in a bit. So some of the highlights just from what I'm recalling. And again, I'm Mr. Haven't actually caught the game yet. Got to catch the highlights when they come. But Zach Wilson, I believe, had 297 yards altogether, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. I'm not sure what that came from. But the big thing is, and this is also in conjunction with the offensive line, is that we only had 1 sack on the game. So it's a lot of progress, at least from what things look like, just kind of how I've seen the play-by-play go and stuff like that, so I get to see the actual game footage. But it seemed like there's a lot more progression. I don't know if they did more half reads instead of just trying to throw the full book at him, but we heard LaFleur talking about trying to simplify things, and, he even expanded on what that meant for us in regards to not, throwing out a bunch of plays from his playbook, but when they're breaking down how they want them executing things and explaining that to the players so that they understand to the best of their ability, how can they simplify that and make things a lot easier for themselves. So obviously, whatever the changes happened, that whatever those changes looked like, they worked. It's easy to say that. In the same token, Robert Saleh was just saying, when we're winning, the coaching staff looks like geniuses, essentially, and when we're losing, we look like idiots. And that goes for the entire league, not just the Jets organization, but, that speaks numbers. Robert Saleh is always dropping bars out here and little gems of knowledge for people, but excellent game by Zach Wilson, at least compared to what we've been expecting. Definitely would have loved to see, a free turnover game, but it is what it is. The running game, again, it's been really hit or miss in terms of either having a really good day in pass protection or at least a solid day, or, an excellent to average day, or, sometimes poor in the running game. So that was a little disappointing, but we did see Michael Carter get a touchdown. I can't recall if he scored one that first week, but either that's his first official touchdown or this is his second one of the season. Either way, exciting for the rookie. It seems like we probably ran some different kind of little trick plays. I think I've seen an 8-yard run by Braxton Berrios, and then just a few other things, couple runs by Tevin Coleman. Otherwise, we didn't really have a whole lot of run plays. It was definitely pass-heavy offense today. Again, the offensive line, I give them the kudos for, Zach Wilson got the ball out early and often as he needed. And then in the running game, couldn't do much. But, there is a lot of talent on that Tennessee Titans defense. We're still trying to get things together. The offensive line that's been playing the first couple weeks of this season isn't the same one that played throughout the preseason. And, it's really easy to preach consistency and communication when it comes to the offensive line, but you really do need to kind of know what's happening to the left and right of you at all times, and having that innate ability to say, okay, I know if we got a stunt here, he's going to flip this man and then pick up the next one incoming so I can shift here, and whatever that looks like. I'm not giving you the X's and O's or, the exact football terminology, of course, but it's a better circumstance for players when they can know what to expect out of their brothers to the left and right. Again, tight ends, a handful of catches from what I've seen, nothing crazy. I think 1 apiece for Croft and Griffin, potentially maybe 2. But the wide receiver core, so, we didn't want to call it a revenge game, but that's essentially what it was. Corey Davis, I believe, had a touchdown and 111 yards, I believe, on just 4 catches, which is awesome. Jamison Crowder coming back for his first game of the season, got himself a touchdown. As always, that's Mr. Reliable, and I believe he had maybe about 50 yards or so. I think he got a few extra catches in overtime, so maybe about 67 yards, something like that. Keelan Cole had a lot of big plays, so there's a 54-yarder, I believe. And then in overtime, he was able to tack on a couple more, I think a 24-yard big play, and then just another clutch one, and I believe that was to convert a first down to actually get the game-winning field goal. Jamison Crowder actually made the last play. It was like an 8-yard catch that, he tried to take to the end of the pylon. But still, a lot of clutch plays that happened there. The thing that I wanted to bring back up, no Denzel Mims. So I don't know if he didn't get any snaps or playing time, or if they... It's so frustrating, but it's kind of... I get the feel that it was almost like a healthy scratch still, even though he was active. So I got to go back and see what the updates there are. But even though he was active today, we've seen no kind of stats from him. So I'm hoping he at least got on the field and, just the way things panned out, he wasn't targeted. Other than that, though, excellent game from them. I'm so excited to go back and get to these highlights when I get the opportunity to a little later today. But the defense, holy cow. So for the defense, we had 7 sacks for the day. Quinnen had 2. His brother had 1. JFM, John Franklin Myers, he had 1. Bryce Huff had 1.5. And then Bryce Hall even got in on the action on what do we want to call it? A cornerback blitz. So that was really exciting to see. We forced 3 fumbles. I think we recovered all 3 too, actually. And then, we didn't get any picks, but it was just a really overall solid performance, given the fact that Derrick Henry was doing his normal Derrick Henry type things. Over 150 yards just for himself on 31 rushes, I think it was. He did get a touchdown, but we really clamped down on the wide receiving core for them. I don't think they had... I got to go back and see what happened injury-wise. I believe Julio Jones didn't play, and neither did A.J. Brown, which is great news for us. I would have been curious to see how we would have stacked up if they had their full roster, but we just barely eked out the victory as it is, which... it's the same thing we got during the preseason. Zach Wilson looked great and all these other things. Running game looks like it's popping. There's explosiveness, a lot more speed and agility out there than what we've been accustomed to. But you guys are facing second string. So, however it happens, right? But yeah, I'm extremely excited we finally got our first one of the season. It's out of the way. Once you kind of get that feeling of winning, that really wants you to continue to experience that a lot more, right? So it's not to say that we can go on a run, but, fingers crossed, I'm really, really hoping that is the case. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I promise one of these days I'll get YouTube TV or like the ESPN package or something again, and I'll be able to watch these games in real time. But until then, drop your comments below. Let me know who you guys were excited for. And, first dub out of the way. So if nothing else, that's good enough to, set your Sunday off on a good day. But I'll catch up with you guys again. Peace, once I can break into this film and see if there's anything else that stands out. Other than that, I'll catch up with you guys. Peace.